Salute everyone. The streets are buzzing. Hope everybody is well. Salute to Nick Nation. Salute to Knicks fam. Streets out here. How's everybody doing? Ready to get into it tonight. It's going to be another great conversation. We're going to chop this thing up, and we're all looking ahead now. We're looking ahead. The show goes on in Broadway with the New York Knicks. We're going to be talking about the Knicks young core, our season expectations. I've updated my top talking points as well now with this thing, now that Spider Mitchell is a Cleveland Cavalier, and we're looking ahead with this thing, right? It's going to be a huge season ahead. We've got expectations now, people on the clock, and yeah, we're going to chop this thing up, have some fun like we always do. But the streets are buzzing. Let's get it. Appreciate you coming through, the whole chat buzzing already. And yeah, the show goes on. We look ahead. We had some news actually from Ian Begley, which will pull this thing up as well. And Mark Berman also went on the SNY, dropped some talk about, Tom Thibodeau and his habits. We know what that's all about, with him wanting to pick up wins and play veterans as well. It's up to Leon Rose to take away these toys with this thing. But Ian reports that earlier this off season, Tibbs was open to the idea of reducing the role of at least one veteran, Nick. Well, I could guess who that might be, in order to increase the minutes of a younger player as well. So good timing with this thing, right? We know the Knicks swiftly are going to move on, to save face from, not getting Donovan Mitchell, for better or for worse. We chopped it up last night, which is great conversation. And I've got some, more opinions around the league, around the media from, their perspective. A lot of people are siding with the Knicks were good not to get Donovan. Well, Jacoby, big Knicks fan as well, honestly believe that this is a great day for the Knicks. Frankie Isola chimed in as well. Knicks are better off. Price was too high just to create an undersized backcourt as well. And we'll chop up. Bill Simmons also said on the Ringer on the pod as well. He believes that RJ Barrett and the unprotected picks, he wouldn't have done that himself. He would have preferred to have RJ Barrett and the unprotected picks as well. We're going to chop up some performance from Rokas Jokubaitis playing there in FIBA, doing well, lighting things up with that. But yeah, we're going to be talking about the young core, and Knicks' top 3 young players, as ranked by Bleacher Report, was Bully Barrett, Cam Reddish, number 2, Emmanuel Quickley at number 3. Well, and yeah, we'll be talking about Brunson's impact now, because that's poignant with this situation and the leadership that he's going to bring. Just how many more wins? We'll be chopping up the preseason, where as Will hits on, right? We're close, man. We're 1 month away from the preseason. Out here, things are absolutely buzzing, and early expectations now with the power rankings. Does anything change for you? Obviously, we're waiting on some moves to happen, and like I said, the talking points for me have been adjusted. Well, I've got Julius Randle number 1, and I'll even add Leon Rose in there as well. Leon Rose has got to be right up there with the talking point with this thing, Sam. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into some of the chat. Salute out here. Almighty Finesse, what's good? Keith, what's happening? Shy contract is a monster compared to Donovan. Yep. And King Puppy, salute. How you doing out here? Sherwin, the fact that we didn't trade for Donovan is the best news I've gotten in a long time. Next is to trade Obi. Johnny Davis, salute. How you doing out here? Keith, completely agree, fam. We got no other choice, really, but to embrace what we got. And it ain't like a consolation for me. I was good with what we got before the Mitchell trade as well. So I'm not just saying this because the Knicks, missed out on bringing in that spider. I honestly felt like we were in a good position. Addition by subtraction. We trade away some vets, and then we good. Julian, salute. How you doing? Lily, Core Mega, up in here. You guys are buzzing. Will, like I said, man, early predictions for preseason 1 month away. Let's get this thing popping out here. Yeah, so obviously I want to talk just about, in terms of the Knicks' direction now, this season. We missed out on the spider thing, and the Knicks obviously embraced RJ Barrett now. They're tweeting left, right, and center about RJ and his extension and the big fourth year coming up. And he's going to be the face of this franchise this season now, RJ Barrett, along with Jalen Brunson. And with that said, the Knicks are obviously going to scour the league, with their assets, see what's up. I don't see anything big shaken out before the start of the season, but best believe by the trade deadline, the Knicks will be looking for that next disgruntled guy. I don't think that storyline is going to go away. I think before the next trade deadline, the Knicks are going to be, you'll be hearing talks, they'll be active, right? We have so many draft picks that, simply put, we just cannot make all these selections. Even if the Knicks wanted to make all these draft selections, right, there's just too many picks now. We've got the Dallas pick. Let's hope Washington make the playoffs. We get that pick as well. We got our own pick as well. And we all know who we got up in here as well. So in my eyes, the Knicks' long-term strategy hasn't really changed. They're still going to be looking for veterans in terms of a big trade and getting that star in. But right now, the focus is on who we got. Right now, to start this season, it's about who we got. And I'm excited about Jalen Brunson, bringing him in here. I'm excited about playing RJ Barrett at the 2. First and foremost, RJ Barrett, I think that's his best position. And then I feel like Quentin Grimes should honestly, and no excuses now, should get all the minutes he needs, 25 plus minutes up in here. And then, of course, we still got Randall. That's going to be poignant to see what happens out with LA, making a move for Russ, getting off of Russ. But I think it's most likely Julius is a Knick to start the season. And, of course, money-making Mitchell Robinson coming back, getting paid the bag, and looking for him to come in and make a big impact with that starting 5 spot as well. So that's what I'm looking for now with the starting unit, man. And the Brunson, RJ, Grimes thing really got me excited to start this season. And I think people are sleeping on the Knicks' current roster. I really do. I think we won 37 games last season. How many games did we blow away towards the end? How many games did we blow by free throws? How many games did we start with Kemba Walker? And how many games did we win in February? We just won one or a few handful of games in February. Yet, we still finished with 37 wins. I think that point is getting lost. I think people are forgetting that. For as bad as last season was, we somehow came away with 37 wins. Now, you add Jalen Brunson to that. To me, he at least brings 4 to 5, 6, 7 wins around that category as well. And that's being as modest as I possibly can be. So you're automatically looking at this Knicks being a 500 team, I think at least. And then that's not taking into account young players growing up and ascending, right? Giving more minutes to Grimes, Mitch coming in with proper help backing him up as well, and Isaiah Hartenstein. So So yeah, for me, these season expectations, I think we should be no less than 500 in terms of my expectations, purely because what we saw last season was so bad, yet we still finished with 37 wins, and we only won one game in February. Now you bring in that quality starting point guard with Western Conference Finals experience, and I think we're going to be thereabout every single game. We're going to be tough out here. Yet New Yorker says Brunson is legit. We are right. Yep. He's absolutely legit, man. People sleeping on him. Facts, right? Yeah, I know Spider's Spider. It was about the excitement, the box office. He's done it in the league. But to be honest, man, Jalen Brunson ain't that much of a fall off. It really ain't to me. J-Dub, what's good? Salute. Remember, we blew at least 10 games that we had the lead in the fourth. Plus, we also blew 5 games due to free throws. Yep. Absolutely. That's the point I'm trying to make as well, fam. You hit with that, man. The OKC one we blew. Brooklyn we blew out here, right? Charisse, what's good? Grimes better average 25 points per game since he's so valuable. Yeah. There is a bit of pressure on him now, and the front office, now that it's out there, how much they believe in Grimes. Yep, that's going to be good to see. But I think Grimes is made of it. He's ready for this thing. He's a two-way guy. He can defend. He's tough. He can play on the ball. He can put it on the floor. And I think, his shooting is there, man. That's his best skill set. Dirty Dancer, we have a solid squad. The issue is that at least 9 teams in the East have more talent than us. Yeah, it's going to be an absolute dogfight, logjam with this thing, right? Tom Thibodeau and the coaching schemes are going to be critical up in here as well. And of course, with the Julius thing, who knows what that's going to be like opening night, whether he's still on the roster or not. But whether he is or he isn't, it doesn't change my win total too much. I think 40 wins minimum, as high as 45. Keith, I'm not as confident in Leon. In a draft, he might trade our first round pick again. That's going to be something to really watch, fam. With all these picks, the Knicks, they blew away the 11th spot to get Jalen, and that could be something they're interested in draft night again coming up. Sheree says Tibbs won't play these young guys with this thing. That's the big topic going around right now. Truth is, Leon Rose better do something. Better do something with this situation. And if Tibbs doesn't start well, then definitely the clock is going to be ticking on him. It's going to be ticking with him, right? We need to get out of the gate, right? He has no excuses if the Knicks aren't winning games, right? Whatever he's here for is going to be counterproductive to that. But yeah, I feel like it's going to be somewhere in between. I don't feel like he's just going to play Julius, 40 minutes, Evan Fournier, 38 minutes as well. But at the same time, I do think they're going to get plenty of burn. And I do think the young players are still going to get solid minutes. Maybe not as much as we want. But yeah, Tibbs has got to be more open to it. I just can't see him being that stubborn again with his job on the line. But yeah, I've got to see it to believe it. Like I really understand fans' pessimism with that. J-Dub, we need to develop our young talent. I feel like the 2023 is going to be deep. Yep, that's the silver lining with this thing, fam. Yeah, MIG, no one want to do business with the Knicks, right? I think there's a key few GMs like Danny Ainge, who does have a bad history. But I said yesterday, I think the Knicks have done team solids. They've built their reputation around the league to be a team that's open to doing deals. We helped out Utah. Remember, we took Ed Davis. We actually took Ed Davis. We got 2 second-rounders, and we helped them out. We helped the Lakers last season to get rid of Rondo as well. We've done teams some solids as well. Frederick, what's good? I believe that the Knicks are going to have a lot to prove. And in the words of Bart Scoot, can't wait. Yep. I can't wait either, fam. Yep, definitely. The show goes on in Broadway, never stops, man. The city that never sleeps out here. Well, people can keep clowning and all of that. We're still going to sell out Madison Square Garden. Opposing team stars are still going to love coming here as well. We're still going to be up in here in the best fan base in the world, passionate, closing down streets as well. There's going to be some crazy national games as well. And yeah, the show always goes on. There's always going to be that next star that wants to come to the Knicks. The Knicks, nothing really changed for me other than Spider Mitchell not coming in terms of, our ability to still play around. We got picks, that we're going to have to do something with. Basically, we can't just sit on our hands now and make all these selections. We're going to have to do something with them, right? And we do have some young pieces that, people around the league are starting to pay attention to. Like I said, the consensus was that the Knicks were overpaying. Frank Isola, Bill Simmons, a lot of these guys from ESPN, Tim Bontemps, Brian Windhorst as well, all couldn't believe the packages available. Yes, that was concerning from that perspective. But yeah, I think the Knicks do have a young core that has a bright future in this league. Yep. And it's going to be a big season. A big season for them. And like I said, Rokas Jokubaitis had a strong game last night, nailed 2 threes down the stretch, gave Lithuania a chance in their loss in Eurobasket. He had 14 points on 6 of 13, 5 assists, 2 turnovers in 28 minutes as well. The 21-year-old, draft and stash, from the 2021 draft, 34th overall. So he is still a New York Knick cooking overseas. That's going to be interesting to see what happens out there. Yep. Absolutely, yeah. MIG says, I keep telling you till Dolan owns the Knicks, we ain't going nowhere ever with that thing. Yep. I know we got to believe it till we see it. It's tough out here as well. The truth is we're still in a good position, compared to years past as well. It ain't like we're cap strap trading first round picks for Andrea Bargnani now as well. We just got to invest in what we have. And tonight we're going to talk about, who's the most likely to become, an even bigger impact on this team with what we have and become a star, hopefully. Yep. Sharice, it hurt definitely. Those leads we blew last season. Yep. Almighty hits that. Wiggins going to be a free agent next summer as well. And Kuminga needs minutes. Wiggins in his spot, says Sherwin, for that thing. Yep. We blew at least 3 games, Felicia, where we had the 20-point lead and the starters ran out of gas. Yep, definitely. Sherwin CT, where do you see those 40 wins? Go over the schedule as well. Yep, we'll do a whole show, Sherwin, as we get closer to preseason. I promise we'll go over each game and I will go through game by game to see where we get to that as well. But yeah, like I said, Sherwin, it's based on track record, right? 37 wins last season. You cannot say we didn't make an upgrade. We made upgrades, right? So 40 wins on over 37 wins. That's just a 3-game modest increase as well. With that, New Yorker says RJ just needs to improve free throws. Yeah, and then he gets to 25. Easy. IQ ready to ball out. I feel it in my bones. Yeah. Don't disregard the chip too, fam, on the shoulders of these young players coming through now. A 3rd, 4th year of familiarity with this thing, with Obi and Quickly coming into their 3rd year with playoff experience. Now, RJ Barrett got the bag. He knows he's the face of the franchise. I mean, Mitchell Robinson coming in with the confidence he's going to come in with as well, with a little bit of pressure with dudes backing him up now. And I just think improvement from within is going to be key this season. Now, I'm not putting us as no lock to make the playoffs. That would be irresponsible. But definitely the Knicks are going to improve, right? I see definite improvement on 37 wins with that thing. And also with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, look, who knows what the hell is going to happen with, OKC. But with that said, I think he's definitely a name that would be on the Knicks' radar. How could it not be? And like I said, listen to the first part of the season and up until the trade deadline, and then we'll see what's up after that. Agent, salute, what's good? This entire Knicks young core should play this season with a chip on their shoulder with something to prove out here. Yep. Absolutely. That'd be buzzing, man, to get into camp, right? And chop up this preseason that we got out here. Let me pull up the schedule. Yeah, with preseason only a month away, ladies and gents, it's going to be nice going to battle against Detroit. Yeah. Dirty Dancer says Tibbs plays the young guys who deserve it. The issue is that he doesn't play them in the role we want to test them out in. That I feel like, with Alec Burks, that was a big culprit. Alec Burks is gone now, so it's really down to Evan Fournier v. Grimes. It's really down to Obi getting enough minutes. I think IQ already has always been getting, the minutes he needs to. But yeah, it's to me, it's down to Obi and it's down to Grimes needing minutes. I think we can all agree. I think Deuce McBride still situational out here, but at least hopefully he gets minutes in the G League. Don't have him DNPs. Sit him out in Westchester, get burned. If Jalen gets an injury, D Rose is out, then you bring in Deuce for some situational minutes for that thing. Keith, yep. The motto is that's always next year. We need to get a T-shirt with that printed on it. Right. There's always next year with this thing, fam. But you know what? Every single team that doesn't win the chip says the same thing in the NBA, right? There's 29 teams that don't win the chip, and their fans are in the same boat. There's always next year with this thing, right? If you think about it, Giannis Antetokounmpo, the Milwaukee Bucks, didn't win the chip last season. It was the Golden State Warriors, so they're thinking next year as well. I also feel that Leon must demand that the youth play. It's put up or shut up time. Facts. Yep. I think, it's big with Leon right now. You got to pick a direction, ladies and gents. Like, there's talk about, would James Dolan be upset now that we missed out on Spider? What's James Dolan's next move? Well, that, to be honest, I think James Dolan chose his decision now. He has a long, long history of business with CAA, and I don't see him removing Leon Rose this soon. Not saying it won't happen, but I think at least another year. I don't think James Dolan is that, where he was in the meddling level last time. I think the long history he has with CAA and Leon Rose, I think Leon at least got another year. But that said, of course, everybody's getting evaluated in their job. He's watching Leon Rose, what's going down. He sees what's out in Brooklyn and all of those things. Yep. Sherwin, I got you with that. Yep. Having time to go over the schedule, predicting the win and loss as well. We'll do that as a specific show, and we'll dedicate that to go through each one as well. Definitely. That. Sheree says, I don't think Tibbs cares for the young talent. There was ready to trade them off, including RJ. Yeah, I think that's the direction they prefer, fam. I really do think. While Tom Thibodeau's here, of course, man, he's used to having a roster to contend, and he badly wants to be in that situation, right? So whatever word's getting out to the media through Mark Berman and things like that, through their connection, I do feel like that's what Tibbs is thinking. Yep, it's definitely on the money with that. I'm against that situation because we're just too far away now. Now, if we had one or two more star veterans, I could see that, let's go all in, let's go for it. But we're not at that stage right now, and we just need to be serious about where we're at, invest in this young core and develop them, Yep. Salute D Cool. What's good? Hope you're well. Wiggins, yep, he's big. He's a big target with this thing. But yet, the key development player will be the continuing development of RJ and see if Grimes or Cam is the real deal. We've been lacking that wing spot, and that is critical, like J Dub hits on with that. I can't state that enough. I think RJ, Grimes, Cam, and Obi's development this season will be key. And also don't want to sleep on Mitchell Robinson. Well, he could really ascend to being a top 7, top 5 center in this league this season, right? I would not be shocked with Mitchell Robinson becoming a top 5 center in this league, ladies and gentlemen. Like, he's still young. Mitchell Robinson, still really, really, really young with this thing. Luke, salute. What are your thoughts on the Knicks trading up in the draft? Lots of good prospects for that thing. Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that, fam. We're going to have a guest on in a week's time, week and a half's time, to preview, to touch on the college class, the analytics side of things with Shot Quality. Our friend Simon from Shot Quality out here as well. We're going to be talking about the prospects as well in this draft and fits as well. But yeah, there's always talk about the Knicks moving up. There always will be. And I think that's going to be something to watch this season. But I think as long as Tom Thibodeau's here, he's going to be pushing for more veterans with this thing. But where I sit, I really want the Knicks to build through the draft. I think nothing's been more clearer to me over our pathway than what we've seen over the last 2 weeks and 2 months. Nothing is given with these trades. Building through the draft and player development is the best way for the New York Knicks to become a powerhouse again. That's how we were winning. Previously we drafted our cornerstone, Patrick Ewing. We drafted our cornerstones in the 70s as well. That's what we got to get back to, ladies and gents, as well. I'm sick of relying on other GMs to do us a favor, trades, things like that. It's got to be free agent signing with the Knicks, and it's got to be the NBA draft. Yep. Yeah, M. Rivera, blaming Dolan is played out. He had nothing to do with anything. Leon is running the show. Yep. John Hawthorne, great to hear your thoughts on that. Thank God Ainge turned down this Knicks offer. Right. Yep. It's frustrating that it leaked out there as well, but it is what it is, man. It is the business side of things. I don't feel like the Knicks are shook by it. No means, If anybody worried about if the Knicks are shook, I just don't see that happening. I think they're just ready to get on the court and ball out this season, man. And we got our leader in Jalen Brunson, our point guard, who's coming off a winning season with a winning franchise, fam. Pudge Nice, 48 wins, man. That sounds good. Things have got to go right for us. But yeah, good health. And I think that's very possible, really is, with improvements from key players within. Talking about the Mitches, talking about Obies, talk about Quickleys, healthy Derrick Rose, all of those things, man, closing out games. And on the flip side, Sherwin gives us his early preview, 30 wins. So you see a regression, Sherwin, with that. How do you see us going down from 37 down to 30? Let us know. Key says Dolan just signs the checks. Don't know why people can blame him for anything. He's the fall guy at the moment. What's good, Jay? Sing, salute. Felicia says, plus the season is unpredictable. Everyone thought Lakers winning it all, but there is a surprise and injuries. Yeah, you hit, Felicia. You hit with that. Aging stars, ball dominant guys, chemistry, cohesion. That all plays a huge part with this thing. Well, I can't state that enough, man. I think the Knicks' chemistry is going to be really good this season as well. Just as an intangible, I think the chemistry is going to be nice. Yep. Boss man being quiet for 2 years, so let's ignore 20 years of history. Says Dirty. I think, yeah, he's still around. But I think, yeah, Leon's still running the show for now. It's going to be interesting to see this season what takes place. Yeah, we got the power rankings There we have the Knicks in 10th. ESPN got us with 39 wins as well. Yep. He has a $6 billion asset. Calling him to sell is falling on deaf ears, right? Yep. The Knicks make money. Facts. Fournier and Rose got to go. We don't need these players taking up time from the youth. Yep. That's going to be something that I see Derrick Rose really looking like he could go fam at the deadline. Evan Fournier before the season begins. I really do think as well. Yeah, we still got LA, the big domino to fall there. We got Utah to still sell some vets. So yeah, and I do feel like a team like Charlotte with the Miles Bridges thing going on. What do you guys think about Evan Fournier? Maybe perhaps finding a home with his former coach, Steve Clifford, out there. Right, Steve Clifford knows Evan Fournier. They might have a hole to fill with Miles Bridges. We'll see how that plays out. Fam, yep. Only problem I have with that is that Dolan shouldn't have let Phil draft, then fire him. Yep, that was unfortunate timing. Fam, it hurts to relive that as well. But yeah, that just takes us back to the draft and how poignant that is. The Knicks select Shai Gilgeous-Alexander instead of Kevin Knox. The Knicks select Donovan Mitchell instead of Frankie Smokes. You know, all we need is to hit on one of them dudes, and we're in a completely different situation right now. So, you know, I hope that last draft doesn't come back to roost and Jalen Duren or some other dude becomes a star. But the only thing is, at least we know what we got with Jalen Brunson. Luke says, similar to the Jazz, what teams will more than likely blow it up if they fall short this season? I'm thinking the Wiz and the Blazers. Yep, completely agree with that. Obviously, we got the Pacers that already blew it up. We got the Magic, Pistons, and that are upcoming and investing in the youth. The Hornets, they got a young core as well. Look, it's got to be the Nets. If things don't work out for the Nets, I think they could be a team, fam. I think, yeah, the Hawks are on the nice path. Yeah, everyone else is on that nice path right now as well. If anything, maybe in 2 years' time, I can see the Heat coming to the end of their window with this thing. Yeah, that almighty hits too with that situation with Maxey, and the Knicks were interested in Tyrese Maxey, 100% with that. And a K Thomas salute. If Tibbs don't play the young guys, we won't finish. He won't finish as Knicks coach. Yep, I think if he's being way too stubborn, definitely, man. That is where I could see Dolan coming in and firing and stepping in and saying, Leon, we need a change of coach. We need a new voice up in here. Canal, salute. Appreciate it. Let's get it. Chat. Everybody out here, fan buzzing. King Puppy, I think our chemistry is going to be on point this year. Yep, I've been saying that too. Definitely. Feel like when you got less egos up in here, there is obviously an advantage to having a superstar as well. But I think there is an advantage to the way the Knicks' current roster is constructed, where we got young guys that like each other, came up in the league, together. The chemistry between Mitch, RJ, those guys are strong. The connection between Obi, IQ, and Rose is strong as well. So, yeah, I think with this situation, I think the Knicks got that chemistry down. D Crown, salute, what's good? Yep, Tariq, what's good, fam? Robert Whitaker, salute to Bobby Knuckles, picking up the win. It was a great card tonight, fam. I enjoyed that, man. Sharice says, 48 wins at best. Yeah, without making no moves. I could see the Knicks getting to 45 as currently constructed personally. But yeah, if we make another move, then definitely higher than that. But yeah, 48 wins would be a top. As D Cool says as well, 40 to 50 out here. Yep. With this situation, right? New Yorker says we need to move Fournier. Yep, between this. Yep, he is that situation where we got to do that. Yep. Yeah, Will. Hopefully the Dame speculation doesn't creep up, fam. But no, I think he's chosen his pathway. I think Dame Lillard's going to retire a Blazer now. I think if he would have made that leap, like he would have done with Bradley Beal, I feel like, yep. Tibbs admitted he was wrong. Give him a chance. I love his defense with that situation, right? So you're still high on a pathway forward with Tibbs. You got to come corrected. I think you got to mature and change some things up because he got to be adaptable, and that's been his biggest issue right now, right? Like I said, 37 wins. We could have actually won 42 last season had he moved away from Alec Burks, I feel. Well, so, you know, the jury's still out for me, for Tom Thibodeau. Like I said, I love his D too. The Knicks are above league average D for the second consecutive year since 1999 with Tom Thibodeau, and that's been a silver lining with this thing. But his offense stinks. Personally, his accountability stinks as well. Yeah, William, I love Brandon Ingram all day, every day. He would be my ideal fit at the 3. Get me Brandon Ingram up in here. Move RJ back to the 2. Have Obi next to him with Mitch. That'd be a dream out here, right? Ilmatic, salute. Appreciate you. Ilmatic says we don't have to worry about Tibbs playing the young guys. That's all we have, right? Except Fournier and Juju. We got to get those guys a new home. Yep. Salute, Heck. What's good, fam? Yankees morning brew. Salute. JJ up in the house. How we feeling? Almighty Finesse. Howard Smith, as long as RJ and Randall is in the first and second options, we'll be 34 to 37 wins. We really need to trade Randall, Fournier, and D Rose. Appreciate your take, Howard. We definitely need to clear some move for minutes for Obi, and I feel like Julius Randle's the next guy out of here. Julius Randle and Fournier with this thing, right? Luke says it's interesting how no team in the East is projected to win more than 55. That tells me every team will be balling out here. That's a great point that I didn't really pay close attention to. But yeah, I think a lot of East teams are going to take wins off each other, basically. It's going to be a dogfight. And the East is a beast out here, right? Compared to the West, fam, last season teams in the West had less than 500 and were playing playoffs. So that's crazy. Yeah, love watching Obi too run the floor. He's going to be critical with this thing. Absolutely, he's going to be critical. Now with the spider thing in the rear view mirror, some early season talking points for me in ranked in order. For me, Julius Randle is at the top, right? That's still the elephant in the room for me. How long is Randle a Nick? How does he respond? How do Knicks use him? So that's by far the biggest talking point, because I think everybody is in agreement. This is one thing everybody is in agreement on. It's on record, right? Is that with Obi Toppin and Julius Randle here, that someone's got to go, right? Somebody has got to go with Julius Randle or Obi Toppin, right? There is no ducking that situation now as well. So at number 1, how long is Julius Randle a New York Knick? How does he respond if he's still here? How do the Knicks use him with that thing? And the update didn't come through, but I'll change number 2 and I'll put Leon Rose now. The clock is on Leon Rose. Attention, spotlight's on Leon. What does he do? What does Leon Rose do now? How does he move forward? And how does he, what kind of move and direction does he take this franchise now? Does he use his season and use all these picks to try to get the next star as well? Or does he play the course and develop these young guys and see where we finish, right? And then take it from there at the draft night. Then we got Jalen Brunson as well. To me, that's always been a huge topic because we finally addressed the point guard situation. It's been too many years, and I'm happy we finally got somebody as well. Yes, he's no superstar at the moment, but he's ours. He comes in the right stage of his career, which is something we haven't been used to seeing. And he's a good guy on and off the court. He's going to bring leadership, stability, a calmness on the court to help us close games out, right? Help guys get involved, help guys look good. And I'm talking about the big men. I'm talking about Mitchell Robinson, Randall, Obi, right? Those guys are going to benefit the most, I think, from a point guard perspective. Then I think, secondly, RJ Barrett is going to benefit the most from having from Jalen out here with this situation, right? JJ says, I agree with Howard. We have numbers 3 and 4 type options. Randall and RJ portrayed as number 2 and 1 options. Not going to cut it out here. I still think we're good for 40 wins. We got depth. We got 40 wins. And, the point guard situation, fam, don't sleep on it. I think Jalen Brunson is going to surprise some people. He might even shock people out here. Those that didn't see, he torched Spider Mitchell in the playoffs, right? And it was Davion Mitchell who said Jalen Brunson was one of the hardest players he's ever had to guard in isolation. So he's shifty, he's crafty, got the dribble moves, the step back up and under. So yeah, Jalen Brunson going to bring scoring and playmaking out here to this thing. Basically, think of it like this. Think of it like we had a Derrick Rose 2 seasons ago, that kind of impact, but for 48 minutes a night. For 48 minutes a night, we got steady, solid point guard play that can keep the defense on their toes, keep them on their heels, as well, backtracking. He can penetrate really well as well. I think that's what Tom Thibodeau's offense needs, a penetrating point guard up in here as well, and a guy who's willing to take that last second shot as well. Just another guy, man. I don't want Julius Randle taking all the last minute shots as well. Got to have RJ, got to have Brunson up in there as well. But Derrick Rose, I think as long as Tom Thibodeau's here, Derrick Rose will still get his shot with this thing. He'll still get his shine. Kay Thomas says, Leon will trade Randall plus a couple of seconds to move him. Well, I hope that's coming. William says, Knicks have depth now too. Yeah, I completely agree. I love Evan Fournier off the bench. I think he would really fit well if we don't trade Evan. Off the bench, he would be a sniper, 20, 25 minutes a night kind of role. And I think we need Grimes' defense in the starting unit. New Yorker says Grimes, IQ, and Brunson are great shooters. Well, shooting's going to be critical. Fam, you hit with that. I think Grimes, IQ, Brunson, if we can shoot at a really, really solid clip, that adds to our win total, fam. And, I could see us winning 45 games with this thing. Yeah. But that point guard is huge, New Yorker. Absolutely. Absolutely huge for finishing games, starting games. Remember how many games we started slow as well? Let's not forget that. It wasn't just closing games out, right? When we had Kemba Walker, we were down double digits after like 3-4 minutes. It was absolutely crazy out here. And I think Julius Randle's isolation is going to be an issue. What was an issue last season that we're not going to have as much now, because he was, stuck taking contested shots, fadeaways, not knowing when to move the rock, things like that. Not only does Brunson bring playmaking, but he's a shot maker as well, right? Every team needs shot makers. And that's going to be huge with this thing, right? JJ says, seeing as great as Brunson has been in his career finishing at the rim, do you think there's anything he can teach guys like Randall and RJ to improve in that area, seeing as both struggle with that? Yep. Great question, fam. You hit. Here's where I see him having an impact with them. Yep. In training, in practice as well. They're going to be guarding him, going up against him as well. And if there's one thing I've noticed how good Brunson is, he's patient as well. I think Julius Randle and RJ lack a bit of patience going to the rim. Get the head fake. They always go up first time as well. They either get blocked or they try to avoid contact as well. One thing with Jalen Brunson is he is comfortable in his frame. He's solid. He's strong. He might be short, but he's stocky, and he takes contact as well. He's got the good hezzy move, pivot, up and under, reverse pivot, head fake, get the guy in the air, get contact, then finish as well. I think he's going to help RJ out in that way. Julius has always been a bully. He'll always just try to take it first time, take it strong to the cup, and get fouled. But Julius lacks the length, the wingspan, I think, which hurts his finishing at times. RJ Barrett got length with that situation. He just got to be more patient, and you got to be confident taking contact with that thing. I think RJ gets stronger. It's going to be a big key, an absolute big key with this thing. Then, of course, man, Tom Thibodeau. This could be his last season with this thing. I know we've said this for the last 2 years, but really the philosophy of the franchise, the direction we're heading, the alliance with Leon, with Jimmy Dolan and Johnny Bryant still here. William Wesley was against Tom Thibodeau at times, being the head coach as well. Rest assured, the noise is going to be very, very, very loud if we get out slow with Tom Thibodeau. So slow start versus hot start, X's and O's. Does he empower Jalen Brunson to run his role and run the team, right? Be accountable, right? Don't give Julius all the shots. Don't give RJ all the shots. Get the guys in their right positions to be successful with this thing. Where else can Tom Thibodeau improve? Minutes distribution. Play the kids. If Randall ain't got it going, there's no reason he has to play 39 minutes, right? Tibbs has seen firsthand what Obi can do, right? Obi can light you up. He can come in and change a game. Be that ball of energy, be that spark plug off the bench as well, right? Use your bench, Tom Thibodeau. Use your full rotation. Back-to-backs, If IQ struggling, we need defense. Deuce McBride, Quentin Grimes, put him on ball as well. So we got some versatility that I'm really looking to see whether Tom Thibodeau has learned his personnel, right? It's one thing if you don't learn from your previous mistakes, but you gotta know your personnel, right? It's a fireable offense to hear things like, Tom Thibodeau privately regrets not playing the young players, or privately realizes he should have given this guy more burn, right? I mean, you're there every single day, Tom, in the training camp, practice. You got to know your personnel and what they're capable of doing. If we're all watching and we can see what these guys can do, then you got to give them a shot. You got to give them a chance, I think, with this situation, right? And don't be scared, because scared money don't make no money, right? Don't be scared to miss the play-in. I think, if anything, playing these young kids will help the Knicks pick up more wins, right? I think the youthful energy and the versatility they provide, I just think it's going to help the Knicks win more wins. Yet we always play catch up, almighty. Yep, facts, right? First quarter, third quarter of doom coming out halftime. Felicia says the whole team needs work on their free throws. All of them seem to miss when the game on the line. Yeah, you hit, Felicia. That's critical. The mentality of that thing, man, the pressure gets to them with that closing the game out. That's critical with this thing. Look for Mitch, RJ to be those culprits from last season. They need to have improved, definitely. I'd love to see Mitch shoot 70%, RJ Barrett shoot 75. That would be a win for me. That would be huge, absolutely huge. D Knicks up in the house, salute as well. Now, even with all that going on, I can't believe RJ Barrett might be the fourth highest talking point with this thing. What parts of RJ's game take a leap? For me, it's shooting. RJ Barrett going to get clearer looks. He's going to get easier looks. So, see, the defense got to key in. The defense got to show Jalen Brunson some love and focus on him. Otherwise, he'll go off for 25 a night. So look for RJ Barrett's game to become much easier, more smoother as well. The game is going to come slower to him as well. He's not forced to create the action all the time. See, last time it was Randall or RJ to create offense, or D Rose. That was it. Now it's going to be Brunson creating the penetration, dishing it out, secondary action to RJ or Randall. Well, then RJ can be a bully getting to the cup, or he can pop as well. He could get to the cup, secondary action, dribble handoff, or he could pop, be in the corner, or whatever he is, right? Jalen Brunson is the orchestrator up in here, and he's going to help RJ Barrett shooting. Now, with that said, I feel like his finishing, if he's worked on it, we could also expect to see that improve with RJ Barrett's finishing, because again, he's not going to be as tired. I think he's not going to be as tired creating offense, creating the action. And I really feel like RJ Barrett is going to benefit from that and look for him to be more efficient. So yeah, he's shooting, efficiency, and finishing. I think they're the two parts that have got to take a leap for RJ Barrett, star J Barrett up in here. What are you guys thinking with that thing? Right, salute to NYC Ball 08. Appreciate you, fam, for the super chat. The streets are buzzing up in here, fam. The show goes on in this New York Knicks verse, and RJ Barrett going to have a huge year with this thing as well. I'm not worried about his name being in the rumors and him knowing about that, because he's built from a situation where he knows the business of this thing, right? His father is a former player, St. John's, GM of Canadian basketball. His godfather is a two-time MVP, Steve Nash. But he grown up around this thing, right? He grown up around this thing. And I'm not worried about RJ Barrett being worried about this thing, right? Truth is, there's rumors every year about trade stars being available and all of those things. And I think RJ Barrett just focusing on ball. I really do. You don't see him up on social medias doing all, partying and doing a lot of stuff. RJ Barrett lives to play ball. And that's what he's focused on with this thing. And he's focused on making improvements, key improvements to his game with this thing. Now, Felicia hits the definition of insanity, doing the same things over and over and expecting a change, going with these vets. And then we are losing, try the youth, because we're losing anyway. Yeah, I feel the same way with that thing. I feel the same way. And if there is a silver lining this year, right, if things don't work according to their plan, then there's nowhere else they could go. They're backed into a corner. They're into a dead end. And I think it's bye-bye, Tom. It's bye-bye with that thing, right? There's only so much we can do. And now he has his point guard too. So where's the excuses with that thing, fam? There's no excuses whatsoever with this thing. JJ, it's going to be a rough season. I'm already getting my studying on for the 2023 talented draft. LOL. Hey, facts, man. Appreciate that. Regardless of what happens this season, it's definitely going to be popping come draft night. Again, 2023 draft is stacked, right? Whether we make the play-in or we don't, it's going to be lit with that thing, because there's talent abound with that situation, right? like I said, we'll be getting Simon from shotquality.com on as well in a week or two's time. And we'll be keying in on analytics fits with this roster and players in this upcoming college season. With this thing, I'm looking forward to that. James, salute. Front office decided not to trade all the young players away. This should reflect to them giving significant minutes. Otherwise, it doesn't justify not trading them away for Spider or at all, literally. Yep, you hit, James. And also the picks too, fam. They weren't willing to go all in on that fourth unprotected pick, third or fourth unprotected pick or whatever that was as well. So look for them to use these picks for something, whether they're eyeing off talent in this draft or a future draft or eyeing off them to trade in the next star deal. But yet we can't sit on all these assets forever as well. Great point, right? Either use them and develop them, grow their stock, or trade them, trade them away. We've got to do something because, like I said at the top of the show, we cannot make all these draft selections, right? All these picks coming up. We don't have the roster spots, and we got dudes coming towards the end of their rookie contracts. We're going to have to start paying. Yep. RJ has to stop getting blocked. Still Dre as well. Yep. That's something I mentioned too with the head fake and being more patient too. It's so predictable when RJ and Randall go up first time. The crafty thing about Jalen Brunson is he's 6'1", 6 foot. He knows how to get his shot up with hezzy, with pivot, pump fakes, step backs as well. Hopefully he teaches those guys a couple moves. Civil analytics, appreciate you. Yeah, the finishing at the rim is a huge swing skill for RJ. Yep. Efficiency and finishing are the two things I look for RJ to improve and to take a huge leap this season, and also his handles as well. If RJ can tighten those handles, well, he's in it. He's in for a huge year as well. Yeah. D-Cool, the Obi hater is low-key glad Obi didn't get traded because what would they have to talk about in the chat? Yeah. It is interesting to see which young players the front office prioritize, adding this trade. IQ, Obi, all of that. Yep. I can't wait to see another year, right? There's no sitting on the fence now with these young guys. They're going to get every chance this season, right? Almighty says RJ barely posts on social. Yeah, that's a fact too. Yep. He's serious about this thing, fam, and he's serious about being the best player he can be. The Knicks, since we missed out on Mitchell, it made the decision for us to play our young guys. So now it's about getting Randall, Evan, Rose traded to other contending teams for assets, and we'll be 10th in the East, or we'll be 10th. Yeah, we'll be 10th in the East. For that thing, a wasted year. Paul Enzo in the house, salute. Appreciate you. Let's get it. Appreciate the love and the support. Everyone out here, Knicks Nation, right? Beautiful conversations, and yeah, and we also share a lot of the same hopes for this team and the way we want to see this thing play out as well. I'm looking forward to another big season ahead. There's going to be ups, there's going to be downs, there's going to be frustration, there's going to be great moments as well. Yeah, this show's about who's going to step up. Who's going to step up this year now that the show goes on? We got some young players as well. We can't pay them all. We can't play them all. Yeah, what kind of moves are heading our way? But Leon Rose, Tom Thibodeau, right? They move closer and closer to reaching a situation where there's too many questions, just too many questions for this thing, right? And not enough answers. Civil says, I think RJ can be that star. However, are we so sure RJ works hard on his game? How are we so sure RJ works hard on his game? I think, yeah, it comes from his makeup, the makeup and the support RJ has with him in his circle. And yeah, his statements that he makes about wanting to be great. And I think there's motivation with Zion, Ja Morant, being the third overall pick. I think there's the motivation behind that as well. But yeah, I'm hoping for a huge year ahead for RJ. And I agree with you. Knicks are going to be okay this year, right? We're going to be okay, and we're going to be even better than that. New Yorker says we're going to be real good. Watch with this thing, right? Chemistry is really key, ladies and gents. Up in here, chemistry is key. JT in the house, salute. How you feeling with this situation, right? We're looking ahead to this thing, to the talking points and the young core with this thing that we see on the screen. Look at everybody's age, right? See, I get people are upset. Names are in the media now, and all these young players, might not get minutes. What's going to happen with their future and things like that. But the truth is, like I said, these guys are all New York Knicks still, and we're waiting to see which one of them going to pop to take that next step. We got that opportunity now to see these guys play and give them a chance with this thing. Without Donovan Mitchell here, well, these guys are going to bond together and get that chance. And we're gonna have this environment where it's basically, we're gonna find out who is worth keeping long term, who is worth keeping. If I'm Leon Rose, pile up more assets and get more first round picks, says Almighty. Keep stacking them up, fam, like Sam Presti out here, right? Salute, CT. Are we ever going to see Rokas on the Knicks too? I think we will, Felicia. I really think we will. I think he's at the point where he's getting really good minutes. He's getting great development overseas, and the Knicks are getting a chance to see what he can be as well. And I think we just got to wait for that logjam to be cleared up. And I'm talking about Derrick Rose, what happens with Deuce McBride, those kind of things, IQ potentially being in a trade. And then I think we're going to get an opportunity to maybe see Rokas in the next year or two. Definitely. But the beautiful thing is he's an asset under our watch. He's getting valuable minutes in a competitive league. He's looking like he's playing really well. He's developing. And I love to see that with that situation. Because, yeah, we really do have an NBA rotation player sitting overseas right now, developing. JT, thoughts on Grimes? I think Grimes going to be the most prioritized young'un with this thing. Yep. I think next to RJ, JT hit with that. You hit. And like I said, my hopeful starting unit is Brunson, Grimes, and RJ. Well, with those two being in the starting unit as well, and hopefully Obi is starting at the 4 for me. Right. Talk about moving ahead with youth, giving other teams a chance to see what our youth looks like. Nothing's better than having RJ, Grimes, and Obi in the starting unit as well, getting starting minutes. Well, that's good for around the league for us to see what we got. It's good for the rest of the league to see what we got, and I'm really looking forward to that situation. Hopefully, we all know Evan Fournier doesn't have a long-term future with the New York Knicks. I mean, I think that's plain to see. Whether or not we keep him and play him off the bench remains to be seen. But I completely agree with you. I think that Quentin Grimes, out of anybody not named RJ Barrett, he's the next guy that's deserving of getting a starting look up in here, right? The Knicks says, I just don't see a top 20 player that is 25 years old with huge upside like Mitchell that wants to come to the Knicks. Who else like that or better is coming now with this situation, right? Yep. I feel you. It's hard to see right now. It really is. The thing about that is we got to take it day at a time. We got to invest in who we currently have before we start thinking about other players yet. It's all about developing and hoping that RJ, Grimes, Obi, quickly, Cam Reddish, Mitchell Robinson, as many of those guys become solid NBA starters to superstars to stars, all-stars. One of those guys, two of those guys, hopefully pop, and then we look more attractive to the next guy right now. Right now, the thing is we're not attractive to an established star coming because they're thinking, hey, I want to come to Knicks, but I want to be the dude to put them over the top. I don't want to be just the guy to start the whole process. No, you guys need something already in house to show to me what we can be, right? And we were robbed of that. We were robbed of that because with these guys not getting as many minutes, it's going to be tough for these guys to see that with this situation, right? So yeah, it really is going to be tough with that situation. Yeah, you guys are absolutely buzzing out here. Let's get it. Appreciate the buzz. JJ says, I'm not upset about not getting Mitch because he wasn't going to take us to that next level. Not even sold. We would have been a playoff team with him in this stacked East. Yep. And that's no knock on Mitchell, the talent too, fam. I'm more looking at it like fit, ladies and gentlemen. The piece has got to fit, right? We've seen crazy stacked teams like Brooklyn last season, the LA team in 04, was it? One of those teams with all those Hall of Famers, and it don't always work out, right? Pieces have to fit. I'm not sure how Brunson, Spider, RJ, Randall, so many ball-dominant guys fit with this thing. Now, if you were telling me it was Spider without Brunson, it was Spider next to RJ at the 2, Cam Reddish or Grimes at the 3, that's a better fit for me. So yeah, we got Brunson. We signed our free agent upgrade. I'm good with that. I'm really good with that. Now, if the Knicks went into this season without a point guard, I'd be feeling completely different. I'd be really, really upset without getting Spider. But I think getting Brunson first, it just made this situation easier to stomach for me. JT says it's a business and it was to upgrade. I hope they don't take it too personal. Just let their game shows why they don't need to make the trade. Yeah. Hopefully they feel that way too, fam. But yeah, I could see that definitely. Yeah. I think these guys are just going to sense relief. Truth is, they know it's a business, right? You're in the NBA, and all the comments I've heard from players that weren't ended up traded, the first thing they say is relief. They're just happy to stay where they're at. They don't have to uproot their family. They don't got to uproot their belongings, all of those things. And of course, they get to ball out with their friends. Obi, Quickly, Grimes, Mitch, RJ, they all got a bond, and a friendship up in here. That means a lot to them. The Knicks, yeah, Donovan Mitchell is a next level. He's a next level. He's a star. You need that to bring in other stars. Brunson and RJ ain't bringing in no one with that as currently constructed, right? I think you've got a winning. Winning helps with that, fam. It's not just individual players. I think, look what the Brooklyn Nets did before they got those guys. They just got to look solid, competent, making the playoffs first, I think. Then people look at you more attractive, I think, with that situation. So, but yeah, I agree in terms of personnel, we don't really look sexy at the moment to nobody, right? It's got to be the New York market. I think that brings in that star with this situation. Yep. Me personally, I just don't think it was the time to make the trade, so I'm not upset. Yes, I meant aside from RJ's spot is locked in with the minutes. Yep. Appreciate you for that, fam. With that, Kaiser, salute. Mitchell is a star, but he doesn't take you near the championship or the ECF. Cavs probably won't make it out the first round. That thing, that's going to be telling to see what it looks like with Garland and Spider now with that situation and exactly what that looks like as well. Ladies and gentlemen, Luke Cardona got the streets buzzing. Appreciate you for the support. Let's get it. Luke says, if Knicks run an up-tempo game, I believe Obi will be the player to watch and benefit the most. JB, RJ, and Obi on the fast break will be scary. Man, you got me excited just listening to that thing. I was thinking myself. I was thinking, where can the Knicks get advantages? Where can the Knicks get mismatches as well? Got to get easy buckets, like you spelled out, right? Got to get away from this half court, stuck in the mud offense as well, and the ball can't stick as well. That's why I love Obi and I love Mitch, because their impact on the game is profound without the ball, right? The moving, playing above the rim running as well, cutting to the hoop as well. If Obi's shooting can improve, he can become a legit 36%, 38% from behind the 3-point line. That's going to be key for this team as well. The shooting, stretching the floor, and look for a bench lineup. If Randall's still here, look for a bench lineup with Obi and Hartenstein at the 4 and 5. Now think about that. Think about the 5 out stretch shooting with that situation. That got me real excited as well, with RJ at the 3 being able to get to the cup and pop as well, with Derek Rosen quickly off the bench, with Brunson running the point with that situation, right? You're on point with that, man. That got me really excited, right? Also, we got to play into the positional versatility, whatever versatility we have. Now, the Knicks were like second to last in positional versatility. Guys like Obi can play 3, 4, 5 as well. RJ can play the 2, 3, 4 as well. And, we talked about fun lineups with Coach Nick, B-ball breakdown. He threw out there playing RJ at the 4 as well. Bully Barrett, buffed up as well. He could handle minutes at the 4 at 6'7" as well. It's a small man's league now with this thing, right? It ain't a big man's league. And especially with a live body like Mitch or Hartenstein at the 5, I think RJ Barrett could play 5 minutes at the 4. I could see that happening. Yeah, you definitely go all in for a star, Kaiser, and a Giannis, LeBron, Doncic as well. Not just a second tier guy with that thing. We got to look to the draft too. Drafting one game changer will change this franchise next to RJ and Brunson. I'm telling you. All we have to do is draft Mitchell ahead of Frank. All we have to do is draft SGA ahead of Knox, right? Our fate was in our hands and we dropped the ball, right? How many other players did we not draft that we could have as well? You got to invest in scouting as well. There's no salary cap on your development staff and your draft scouting as well, right? If we didn't lay an egg with that situation, man, we'd be laughing right now with these guys in-house as well. Right. You have all these picks, right, that the New York Knicks have. There's 2 ways you can make the most of them. That's trading all of them for a star, or drafting as many of them as possible for as many chances at a superstar as possible with that thing, right? See, Mac, what up? Wembanyama is still an option if we struggle this season, right? Facts, right? There's still plenty of silver linings, right? That's why I say the show goes on still as well. Who knows? We might have a faster track to a championship now, not getting Spider Mitchell. Now, we're never going to know. Hindsight is still there, Well, we might find ourselves a different pathway. It just ain't as clear as we hope. We have Spider. We thought we're going to win more games. Well, let's just see what we have. Let's just see what we have, man. Donovan Mitchell was a liked athlete in Utah, and players still didn't want to come there. That thing. Yeah, Real King, salute. Let's get it. JJ, timing wasn't right for Spider. You make that move when you have that star. Talents with Garland and Mobley plus an improving Allen. We don't have that type of player right now, or players. Yeah, completely agree with that. You hit with that situation now. And, people saw how we play with Tibbs, with Julius as well. We play slow, up and down. We need to get faster up in this thing, right? Julius Randle, look how slimmed down he looks with this situation as well. As quick as Julius started, he bounced back as well. Then he fell down again as well. Does he bounce back again? Who knows? But one thing's for sure is his value is the lowest it's going to be. I don't think Julius Randle's value can get any lower right now. His 5-year extension is just kicking in. So as each year ticks off that contract, he's going to become more movable as well. So like I said, with the Julius the Obi situation, it's interesting. When is the right time to move off of Julius? Whether we wait a little bit, see what his play looks like, or are you willing to just attach a pick and get off of Julius ASAP? Let me know. Let me know with this. What do you guys do right now if you're Leon with Julius and with Obi? How do you handle this situation? Kaiser says, I think when we see the Cavs fail to make the ECF the next 2 seasons, we will feel better about our future. Donovan is not going to re-sign with them. Right? That's going to be keys, Kaiser. You spelled that out. And imagine if that backcourt just isn't a fit. Everyone want to go crazy over what it looked like on paper with Garland and Spider. What if there's infighting over who's getting the last shot, who's getting the ball? Darius Garland want to be the guy. Like, he's saying, I'm here already. I'm the Cavs' future star. But Donovan Mitchell going to come in with that mindset like, hey, I'm the established star already. Give me the rock. So let's not automatically assume Cavs are going to be lit and it's going to be like ECF every year as well. Right? Every team has challenges, and we got to see how the chemistry looks like with that thing, as well. Evan Mobley pops. He wants to be that superstar there. Jarrett Allen. Well, it's going to be interesting to see. But like Kaiser spelled out, the Cleveland Cavalier team, right, is in the Cleveland market as well. Free agents like to choose their destination, that's for sure, right? Look for Spider to choose his fate in 2 seasons' time, right? It could be over in the blink of an eye, 2 seasons, right? We already know how quick the season goes. Webb says Spider is a superstar. He was just on the wrong team. I do agree the fit with Gobert was bad. With that, the right fit with Spider was a mobile big. I think an Evan Mobley type big is a good fit with Spider. I think. Truth is, Rudy Gobert, for as elite as he was defensively, they couldn't get nothing out of him offensively. It was Spider carrying the offense all day, every day. Mac, RJ is a better option than anyone. We have to bring players here. He has that Canadian connection. Yeah, that's true. He is likable too. That's a good point about around the league. Perception is that, RJ Barrett is a really, really well-liked guy, And yeah, with that situation, he brings a work ethic and all that situation. Just because we give up picks doesn't mean we can't get more for other teams. Yeah. You never put all your eggs in one basket. Like I said about the Mitchell trade and us missing out, right? Danny Ainge was playing on the fact that it was the Knicks, hopefully, or being desperate enough for Donovan Mitchell or bust as well. Now, he played us into a corner. We gave up whatever we were willing to give up. But then he walked away laughing as well. He found that other deal as well. And truth is, I'm good with it now because we can't put all our eggs in Donovan's basket with that thing, right? It's invest in what we got, keep moving forward. Randall is 2 first-round picks, the Knicks. Keith says, when is the time to get a good talent like Donovan? Some Knicks fans only focused on the next star after we get Donovan, but you got to get the first star. Yeah. We got to invest in who we got first, I think, to hope that one of them become that star as well. But that's our best chance right now. And of course, the picks we still have, Now, with that said, there's something poignant that I want to play for everybody with this situation. Let me bring this thing up. It's what I spoke on with the Bill Simmons situation. Yep, now you guys can see that. when I speak on a star becoming available each year, let's hear his thoughts on this situation.
And I guess the one thing I was surprised by was Mitchell goes from one small market to another. It did seem like the New York thing was, didn't you feel like it was just going to always be New York?
Yeah, I'll tell you, man. When we've talked
Smart to lock down Barrett and basically say, all right, he's not in the trade now. Because
well, here's well, do you want to do this now?
If it's Barrett and 3 unprotected picks, I'm not doing it. I'm just not. I'd rather have Barrett. I'd rather have the picks and the capital for a trade down the road with the next unhappy superstar who's going to, by the way, be available probably in 2 months. We have seen now with this league 5 times a year somebody's unhappy and available.
Yeah, exactly. Like you said, 5 times a year somebody becomes available, right? I know he's being hyperbole and all that, but yeah, dudes do become available. Like losing makes people want to get out of their situation. And when that next guy becomes available, the Knicks are still going to have the most assets as well to make that move as well. We missed out point blank, period, on the first star, says Webb. So yeah, you're still frustrated with the situation. I completely understand that. But with that situation, right, it was built up to that, he was going to be a New York Knick. And I think that's where we keep going wrong with that situation. Yeah, let me know if you guys heard that. I wasn't sure if the audio was on with Bill Simmons. Yeah, whether you heard what he said about stars becoming available all the time and him not willing to do that deal with RJ, with that thing. Tarek says you don't pay for a BMW with Bugatti prices as well. The math don't add up with that situation. Like Bill Daughtry also said, we got to see what we have with Jalen Brunson. Now, I'm not trying to compare him to Donovan Mitchell. He's not that level. But that don't mean that for this team right now, that don't mean he is the best fit for us. One undersized guard is better than having 2 undersized guards, in my opinion. And we need defense up in here. We need to be tough in the East, right? Remember 2 years ago when the Knicks made the 4th seed, right? Tell me, was it offense that spurred our run to the 4th seed, or was it defense that spurred our run to the 4th seed? Right, we was holding teams to 85 points back to the 90s throwback with Tom Thibodeau's D. We had damn Alfred Payton and Reggie Bullock, so that couldn't put the ball in the cup, but we were still finishing 4th. So you don't just need 5 guys that all need the ball and put the ball in the cup. You need role players. You need guys that have good wingspan, guys that are strong, solid on the perimeter, can defend, and you need size with that situation. Yep. And yet K. Thomas hits it was D. Rose. Well, D. Rose's run, it was that 9-game win streak. But in terms of that team's whole season identity, it was D. It was defense that year as well. So, yeah, I love Spider, and I'm disappointed. I would have loved to see him be a Knick, but I'm just trying to look at the positives on the other flip side, is that now we can move forward with hopefully a better defensive lineup. Now, JT says, what good is getting a star when you're stuck in mud and can't make no other significant moves? Well, yeah, exactly. There is also that stat that, a lot of teams with that dynasty draft their first star because financially it helps you. Look at how Steph Curry and the Warriors was able to be built. You have cost control on these dudes, right? Let's say RJ Barrett becomes an all-star this season. Look at that contract. We got him under cost control right now. 120 mil max. He ain't going to be earning more than 120 mil per 4 as well. So he pops, and we're looking pretty good with that situation. We just got to hope that they pop. The Knicks can see Utah Spurs getting Wembanyama. Man, that's going to be scary with that thing, man. Keith, I just don't like putting a timeline on getting talent. Miss me with that one. Yep, I could see that. Kaiser says, so give up the package for Utah wanted. How do you improve the team after? You can't because you have no assets after that to trade with. Yep. like I said, it all comes down to what we did with Brunson. Well, we paid Brunson. We're locked into too much salary for those two. Well, if we didn't get Brunson, all means go after Spider, hell for leather for that thing, right? But not both of them. I think we made our undersized, scoring guard decision, and that was with Brunson. Not right now. To move Randall, we have to attach picks as well with what's being reported. Yeah. See, I can agree with that, JT. As much as I want to move on from Randall, it's hard to see it make business sense right now with what's being reported out here. Well, the truth is we just got to get clever with this. We got to get creative with giving Obi and Randall minutes together as well. Ashley says the front office missed out on multiple stars. If they don't hit on a superstar draft pick, then they will be a failure. This thing, right? Yeah. To me, a failure is if we're not moving forward. Even if it's at small steps, each year you got to get closer and closer to get to where you need to go. If we keep running around in circles, it's definitely a failure for me, right? That's why this whole direction of playing vets, not playing kids, we can't be stuck in the middle. I'm okay if it takes longer or whatever, but we got to choose one direction and we got to go that route. Well, otherwise we're just waiting 20, 30, 40 years again, going around in circles. We got to pick a direction and we got to go down that route. Well, however long it takes, there's a pathway to getting good in the NBA, right? But you can't waste years not choosing decisions, where to go, who to play, all of those things, right? You're going to have to give up the farm to get a star either way. Either way it go, eventually you have to gamble, right? Yep. Definitely, Keith. I'm all for the mindset of going all in for that second, third guy. The first guy, in my opinion, hopefully the Knicks can draft or be a dude that we drafted. Well, then you go all in. Like, let's say RJ Barrett or Julius Randle was an all-star last year. Well, you get Donovan Mitchell to become that second star. Well, that's more stomachable for me because RJ Barrett or Julius Randle is already elite by that stage. But yeah, it's going to be tough to make moves around that if Mitchell's the first guy. Tarek hits that no way you attach a pick to JB. You just don't sell low. You sell high. It's a business 101. You attach a pick if he hurt, was an injury, or he's still causing drama. Wait till the season starts and see how he runs first. Yep, I appreciate that as well with Juju Randle, right? Like I said, as much as he might not be a good fit, give the guy a chance to come back and improve his stock, improve his game. Well, it's looking like you're taking it seriously out here, right? Utah would have accepted more picks without RJ. The Knicks. We would be running a team with Brunson, Randall, Mitchell, but bum vet. But we would have had been an 8 seed at best and no option to improve for the 6 seasons. Utah would own our picks and swaps. That situation, yep. And like I said about with Bill Daughtry, fam, I said time reveals all, ladies and gentlemen. Let us get closer to this 2023 NBA draft, right? We see what we have this season. The closer we get to the 2023 draft with the Dallas pick, the other pick, hopefully the Wizards, our own pick, we're going to be giddy. I bet you the streets will be buzzing when we see the juicy talent available in this draft as well. So how we feel today ain't going to be how we feel in 9 months from now. With that situation, right? There's talent in this draft. We gotta draft better, and we gotta find our star, our first star through the draft. I feel like, right? Assets do not grow on trees. Before this front office were trash, because previous admins kept running the Knicks like assets grow on trees. Yep, we kept being impatient, I think. This front office may not have done great in my eyes, but there's one thing that I've been okay with is that they've expressed more patience. They've practiced more patience. That's something that they have over previous regimes with this thing, right? And I also give them an uptick for signing a free agent who's peaking. You know, previous regimes weren't able to get a dude like Jalen Brunson peaking. Well, so that is one feather in their cap with this situation now. Now let's see what Jalen Brunson does, you know, for this team, right? This situation with 39 wins and improving on last season. Key says, I want to rebuild with that, but I want to add talent at the same time. I want to do both, and you can. Yep. Giving guys minutes is critical, just to let the league see what you got. See, what hurt us in these negotiations is Obi, Grimes, Quickly. They don't have the value that we hoped they could have had they played more as well. Yep. Tarek says the Simmons pod was right on the money. I saw the show. They know what the bleep they are talking about, and I'm disappointed. Some Knicks fans, but I shouldn't be surprised. It's frustrating, this thing, right? Yes, see, like I said, even guys around the league, the national media, who have, you know, been critical of the Knicks in the past. One, Frankie Isola, talking about that situation, as you see on the screen, the Knicks are better off. Well, Bill Simmons, Knicks are better off. So not everybody clowning the Knicks. Jacoby, I honestly believe it's a great day for us. So let's see, man. This season's going to be absolutely pivotal. JJ says, don't seem like this front office sold on RJ from what we've been seeing and feeling. Like he's going to be traded soon if he doesn't improve a lot. If anything, they like Grimes as the more untouchable one. Yep. I think that's a situation that seems pretty accurate from what we've been hearing, fam. Now, there are different levels to it, you know. I like how you put it, you know, they're not sold. It don't mean that they want to get off of RJ immediately. It don't mean that they don't like RJ. There's a difference between that and being completely sold on that. And also, it's about money. You know, they were, by all reports, hopeful of not making a decision on RJ financially without seeing one more year. But the thing that makes Grimes so attractive is that you have 3 more years of cost control compared to what he's shown us in 1 year. With 3 more years of cost control, Quentin Grimes becomes a really intriguing asset from that perspective, I think. Whereas RJ Barrett was an asset that had to pay as well. And if you're not completely sold, that creates that narrative, I think. Felicia says, I like to have gotten Mitchell, but to give up the picks 25, 27, 29 unprotected. Mitchell contract ends in 25. If he wants out and signs elsewhere, you're without your picks for that long, too much. Yeah, that's a good way to look at it, Felicia, with the picks in the future, right? 27, 29 as well, right? The thing is about these picks, right? We've kept them. We've got to show we know what we're doing with them as well. Let's look at the draft and draft that star with these picks, right? Or trade them for the next bona fide star as well. JJ making that trade for the star without having the other star here don't make much sense. In my opinion, you only make that type of move the way the Clippers did when they got PG and Kawhi was a package deal. Yep, absolutely, fam. Tarek says, I think RJ's team wanted the max. That's why Leon put him in that proposal. That was business. And when Ainge got greedier, RJ's team then brought that price down because RJ wanted no parts of Utah. Yep. It was definitely a business move. Absolutely. Yep. You know, and it's only right, you know, RJ and his agent, they're going to want the most that they could possibly get. But then when they were looking at a future in Utah, that price came down, I think. Definitely, fam. Yep. And I agree, they're not completely sold on RJ as well. And like I said, that don't mean no slight on RJ. It's just what has he achieved so far, right? In their eyes, he's unproven kind of thing, right? He's not all-star yet. So to invest huge amounts of money, you know, it's a business at the end of the day, nothing personal. people got to understand there's nothing personal with this thing in RJ. RJ is no disgruntled guy. He's a likable guy. They probably love him as a person as well. They love his makeup. It's about what's happening on the court. It's me. What's good? Salute. We can't sacrifice our flexibility and we can't skip steps. Cavs were in a better position, and that's why Spider chose them, in my opinion, with that situation, right? One key theme I'm getting around the league, though, is, our young core, as we saw the list there, is it underrated with that situation? People around the league starting to pay attention, Mitch, I heard Brian Windhorst say, he thought the Knicks got him at a good price, for that talent. Quentin Grimes, we could be talking about him in a completely different light. Now, he could be the New York Knicks starting future 2 guard for the long term, under lock for 3 more years as well. So, yeah, these guys just need to play. They just need to get a lot of burn. And speaking of that, Kaiser says, in my opinion, you have to play Obi and Randall together. Some teams play 2 forwards like the Raptors at times, and it works. Yeah, and also Cleveland with Jarrett Allen and Mobley and Markkanen. So yeah, if damn near Larry Markkanen can play the 3, then Obi can play the 3. Obi's smaller, agile, quicker with that situation. But yeah, Kaiser hits on that, right? To me, that is the fireable offense. That's the straw that breaks the camel's back with Tom Thibodeau for me. Well, if we have Obi and we have Randall on this roster and he finds no way to play the 2 of them together, even though we know Obi's value is going down, and with Randall here, that's fireable to me, right? Asset management is poor, and Brock Aller and Leon Rose have to step in, right? Have to step in with that situation, right? And Real King, salute. New York Knicks equals can't get right. All these other teams seem to be able to rebuild with no prob. For the Knicks, it's always a struggle to do anything, right? Because we never pick a direction. Then we never pick a direction, right? The New York Knicks could have an identity today, immediately, right? In the blink of an eye. And what is that identity? You're looking at it on the screen. Look at these players, right? All these players under 24 years old or under, right? If we removed all these veterans today and rocked with just these players on the screen, the Knicks would have picked a direction and they would have an identity. It would be like Orlando, Indiana, Toronto did it, all of that as well. And that would be our identity. Right now, we got no identity because we got no direction. We got Fournier, we got Randall. We don't know what we're doing right here, right? We need to pick that direction and play these guys minutes as well. Right? That's the only way out of this black hole right now. Webb, salute. Donovan won't sign in Cleveland, I don't think. So hopefully by then we have that superstar, and then Spider tests free agency and then signs with us. Yep. Yeah, facts, right? You hit with that. And who knows, maybe it plays out in that reverse order than what we intended. Let's say the Jazz took the Knicks deal and Spider became a Knick, right? And then we added that next guy. Well, now we could use all these picks and assets we got to get the other guy, and then Spider signs as the second guy. Well, maybe we just do it in a reverse order as well. So that could be a chess move that nobody's seen coming as well. So let's see with that, fam. Let's say the Bulls, and I'm not thinking this is likely. I'm just using this as an example. Let's say the Bulls think it up, injuries, Lonzo Ball's injured again, and next year they're bad again as well. By the trade deadline, Zach LaVine, get me the hell out of here as well. So the Knicks make that big splash, make a big trade for Zach LaVine. Then Donovan Mitchell signs as a free agent after that. So then you got Spider, and then you got Zach LaVine together as well. That's an example of what I'm talking about as well. So the Knicks could use our assets to get that star now, and then Donovan comes in here in the next thing. Salute Vaughn. up in here. Salute. What's good? Sherwin says Mitchell price was too high. He not a superstar, and he just been an all-star with this thing, right? Yeah, he couldn't get out of the playoffs. He got out of the playoffs series, won 2 series, but I think it was a bad fit with Rudy. But yeah, he needs pieces around him, and he needs elite defensive guys around him. I think that's what keeps Mitchell most valuable. Yeah, Pudge nice with the 48 wins. Yeah, let's ride that, fam. With this situation with Jalen, with these young players, with the core. The Knicks, I just believe that we can't do what small market teams do and take 10 to 15 years drafting to find that diamond. We need to do what LeBron's champion teams do and buy theirs with 3 stars and vets. With that thing, I'm on board with either. I don't think there's a clear way. I just think the Knicks have tried buying their way to a championship and it just hasn't worked. So to me, the next way I would love to try is through this draft. Right, we got these picks. We got young players as well. Yeah. Knicks like the idea of patience, but in practice, it's non-existent. Look how some Knicks fans acted when not getting Mitchell. What would have been a Scott Layden, Steve Mills move? Says Tarek. Right. Pudge Nice says Utah took the best deal for them. Luke, with a 37-45 record, that's not the time to buy in the trade market and vie for improvement. Teams with that record usually trade vets for young players and picks, right? Patience is a virtue. Yep. Facts, right? Yeah, Sexton, Lowry, it's going to be, the Jazz, Danny Ainge is doing what he's doing for the Jazz, right? He'll set them up. He'll set them up just like they were set up in Boston, right, when Danny Ainge left that situation, right? Tarek says, I think the Knicks are sold on RJ, but not so far as to give him the max to this point. He has another level to get to. Those are 2 different things, and both things can be true. Yeah, like I said, yeah, it's about a business side. They love RJ. They like him. It's about business, yep, and fit with this thing, right? So what do we have to give up for a superstar? Way more than Spider and Gobert trades. Then what with this thing, right? We got to start with who we got first. Like P&I says, the direction is win first, right? Get some wins on the board. Make guys look competent, look like they're peaking. Yep. We never fully tank. All these bad teams have better young cores than us. In terms of the tanking thing, right, all it is just playing your young players, right? Give them all the minutes they need. That's what it's about. We don't even need to try to tank, right? The Knicks will fall bad or get as many losses as possible if we're just playing our young core. Well, they're getting valuable experience, and then you find yourself in the lottery again, and those guys get great minutes, and experience up in this thing, right? Sherwin says Mitchell will not be an all-star in 4 years as well. One thing that did scare me with Mitchell is what his game's predicated on is athleticism as well. So I think Jalen Brunson's game will age better than Donovan Mitchell's game will age right now. Obviously, Mitchell's a better player, but yeah, just talk, spoke to people out, watched him out in Utah, and, his game, his athleticism is decreasing. It is decreasing. It has decreased with this thing. So, yeah, it's going to be telling to see what the Cavs do. Margaret says Knicks want to attract the free agent. Knicks has to be a good team this upcoming season. Yeah. There is talk, obviously, Tom Thibodeau will go all in to try to win some games, right? But the difference between this season and last season, I think he trusts Quentin Grimes to play a lot more minutes because he knows he could help. I think he's going to trust Obi Toppin to play some more minutes as well. And he's always trusted Emmanuel Quickly as well. So I'm not buying this narrative that this young players won't get enough minutes this season. He just got to get creative with and how they get them, and that's limiting Derrick Rose's minutes, putting Fournier to the bench, and limiting Julius Randle's minutes as well, I think. Like William said, to get better as well, what we can do to attract Jaylen Brown and Ingram as well. We just got to look consistent too. See, the Knicks peak one year, we made the 4th seed, then we're back down. Then we peak again, we're back down again. That's not a good look to prospective players around the league. You got to be good each and every year and continue to improve with this thing. That's what the Brooklyn Nets did. You got to show that you're continuing to peak, right? Yep. In terms of RJ and the max, everybody knew he wasn't getting that. Well, yep. It was just a posturing thing. Yep. And the deal's completely fair, Margaret. Absolutely, with RJ not getting the max. I think it's a very fair deal. And it's going to look better than fair, I think, when the salary cap rises with this thing, right? With RJ Barrett locked up for 4 years as well. Webb, Knicks have no choice but go in this season with Brunson, Grimes, RJ, Obi, and Mitch Robb as this starting 5. Move Randle ASAP. Hashtag. Yeah, I can get behind that, fam. I like that lineup. Great defense, offense, scoring, good blend of shooting as well. And Obi stretch 4, Mitch taking that next level, right? That'd be a lineup that'd get people's attention this season, right? And look how many homegrown guys. Mitch, homegrown, drafted. Obi, homegrown, drafted. RJ, homegrown, drafted. Quentin Grimes, homegrown, drafted. Jalen Brunson, signed as a free agent. Well, that's the perfect blend. P. Nice as well, got some names to look out for. Devin, Book, Cat are still options in the future as well. Yep. Again, you just never know what plays out in the future, ladies and gentlemen, as well. For those that are just joining, hear the words of Bill Simmons again.
Star, who's going to, by the way, be available for the picks and the capital. I'm not doing it. I'm just not. I'd rather have Barrett. I'd rather have the picks and the capital for a trade down the road with the next unhappy superstar who's going to, by the way, be available probably in 2 months. We have seen now with this league 5 times a year somebody's unhappy and available. So do they have to go all in on Donovan Mitchell? It's like, no, there's more stars coming. You're still a big market. You have a lot of assets. They have a lot of players people like. Even people like Quickly and Grimes, like those guys have some value. And I wouldn't have done it. And I actually thought it was smart to lock down Barrett and basically say, all right, he's not in the trade now. Because then people were saying like, oh, he could be in if it's a poison pill. Get out of here. That's happened like once. They locked him down and they basically played chicken with Utah. And then Utah's like, all right, fine. But if I'm Utah, I can't be psyched about getting all of these Cleveland picks when that is like one of the best future teams we have.
Yep. Hey, you heard him with that situation in terms of stars, right? This is the NBA, right? It's hard to pick what names at what time and things. And we don't know when that star is going to be available, but you stay active. You put yourself in a position to get in the convo again with that situation, right? Tibbs is the wrong coach to tank with. That's definitely the situation that we face at the moment. It's tough, right? And in terms of Grimes, P. Nice's Grimes is playing small forward off the bench with that situation. JJ agrees with Sherwin, not really sold on the young core at the moment. It's hard to see when they're not getting as many minutes as they should, I think, with that situation, right? Salute, Danny. What's good, fam? Appreciate you. Yep. How you feeling about the situation and moving forth with this team, this young core as well? Like I said, teams struggle to bring in players that don't have an identity, right? And our identity needs to be the players that we've drafted, empower them, play them. Well, like we went through with Webb's starting unit, we're looking at a potential starting unit of 4 guys that we drafted, 1 guy that we signed as a free agent, 26-year-old, heading into the prime of their career. as well. So yeah, with this situation, it's all about it. Tarek says, I love that the Cavs forced the Knicks to go about it the way the Warriors, Grizzlies, and Nuggets did it. Love it. Can't stand that star chasing ish. Sorry, but not sorry with this thing. Yeah. The truth is we have some assets, right? Danny Ainge just didn't want to do business with us, right? He wanted that headline of bending the Knicks over and say, hey, look what I did. I decimated the New York Knicks, right? Like he did with Brooklyn. The truth is we're no fool. We're no fool like Brooklyn was, trading for Paul Pierce, KG, and Ray Allen as 34-year-olds. Right? Danny Ainge really was negotiating in a poor light with this situation, right? Yeah, he never wanted to give us Donovan Mitchell in the first place. So yeah, we were up against it from the get-go, and it was going to be tough, right? But yeah, look for us to be real active. The next key milestone in the road is the trade deadline with this thing. If we don't get Julius, Fournier, or D Rose out of here at the start of the year, don't stress. At the start of the season as well, just look for us to be a real active trade deadline with this season. There's going to be teams flame out. They'll want vets. They'll want D Rose up in here, right? Imagine what an expiring D Rose is going to be like at the trade deadline if he's a six-man of the year candidate. You know, imagine what an Evan Fournier's value might be at the trade deadline. Well, if he's a six-man candidate. Yeah. And of course, Julius Randle, right? Who wouldn't want a 20 and 10 guy halfway through the season if they're floundering up in here? So yeah, the truth is no team too desperate right now in the off season, right? Who's desperate to bring in Julius when they don't even know what their team's going to look like? Well, but wait for these teams to start slow, right? Wait for the Wizards to be under 500. Wait for the Bulls to struggle with injuries. Wait for the Phoenix Suns to be fifth in the West and needing that added boost as well. Then things are going to get crazy up in here as well, right? Desperation helps us with this team, right? The Lakers as well. Like I said, nobody desperate in the off season, but come when the real action started, then you'll see some teams call us up in here for these assets, right? These are solid NBA pros, right? Nobody's no malcontent in terms of D Rose, Evan Fournier, and Randall, right? With that situation, Todd, salute. What's good? Let's get it. Margaret likes Fournier. He a Boston killer. Yeah, we need to keep him for every Boston game. Facts, right? As well. Yeah. Key says, I don't understand how we could be so down on Fournier. I'm not really a fan of the guy, but he is a bucket. This thing, yeah, I'm a fan of that side of his game, but he's a good guy, character guy. You know, when he puts forth defensive effort, he can get by. He's no good defensive player. He's no really bad defensive player. He's just not good enough, I think, to be a starting wing at the moment. I think the best role for him in the NBA is off the bench now. I think with this situation, especially what we saw last season with the small backcourt with Kemba, I think with Brunson and Fournier, still think we'll start slow again, right? And we're going to go through the schedule and predict our wins and losses coming up in future shows, like Sherwin requested as well. We'll go through and we'll see where I can see our 40 to 45 wins with this squad. But with Fournier starting, I just don't see us picking up that many wins up in here, right? Cam Reddish obviously is a big talking point too with this thing. Cam Reddish, the Lakers' interest ain't going to go away, you know, whether that's at the deadline or before the season starts, right? Look for the next move involving LA to try to get better with that situation out here. And yeah, Tarek hits that Ainge wanted to deal with the Knicks, but he thought it was the same old Knicks. Well, he could fleece us. He was wrong. he got frustrated. That's the truth. Out here, he got real frustrated. Out here, we must have ticked him off so damn bad, man. He didn't call the Knicks back. He said, "To hell with these guys, man. These guys won't budge off 2 unprotected picks, man. I want their whole future picks. I want their whole controlled selections in the draft, man." Because he knows any GM is going to prefer the Knicks picks over the Cavs picks. Let's be real. But Leon just didn't go that far, and he pissed him off. Play-in teams should be Bulls, Hawks, Raptors, and Knicks could possibly battle with a Charlotte or Washington for that 10th seed last play-in spot. So JJ got us battling for the play-in. Well, yeah, that's very, very possible with that thing, right? It's going to be a tough conference out here, right? But I feel like if we play to our strengths as well, we see what we look like with this situation. Let's not sleep on our upgrades. I think with Hartenstein and Brunson, well, Kaiser says, why not trade for Wiggins since he needed to clamp down Tatum as well. I haven't followed that closely, but yeah, you guys have been bringing that up tonight. The Wiggins perspective. Yeah, I'm not sure when he's available, but it does sound like he's going to be a free agent at the end of the year as well. So yeah, there's talk whether they need to decide over Draymond or Wiggins as well. That's going to be interesting as well. Yep. Yeah, Fournier do try to play D as well. I appreciate it, Keith. You don't understand the Fournier hate. That's all. Yeah. I think, yeah, it's just about the fit. I don't really see people hating on Fournier's demeanor or personality the way they do with Randall. I think it's just about the fit and the contract we gave him as well. Yeah, and if anybody's not high on Leon Rose, I completely understand. From the perspective of Leon Rose had the worst offseason last year. If you look at it now in hindsight, giving Kemba Walker, Evan Fournier, Alec Burks, who's no longer with the team, and Julius Randle, giving all that money out last season and bringing the squad back together with all that money locked up. That is where Leon Rose struggled big time, in my opinion, with that situation, right? Brunson, Grimes, backcourt, I'm with it. I'm with that. Wiggins look real good, but I'm worried he won't be the same guy away from that great Warriors team and that culture. That's a great point, JJ, too. They did get the best out of him so far in this situation, right? Salute, Latin. What's good, fam? Appreciate you. Sherwin says, JJ, the Knicks are not play-in team. The Knicks will finish 12th to 14th. Indiana tanking, so they will be last. That P nice, Knicks top 8. 48 wins. I think we'll be anywhere from 10 to 7 with this situation, with this squad. I think, right? So I'm putting that at about 40 to 45 wins so far with this thing. Luke, Randall to the Suns would be a nice fit with that. And like I said, we wait till the season begins. We see how the teams look, right? Then teams will start getting desperate as well. So nobody panic if Julius is on this roster at the beginning of the year. It's all a work in progress with this thing. We got to repair value as well, but we got to get creative early in the season. We got to play these guys minutes and be flexible with this thing. Be flexible, and it's going to be a pop and trade deadline. I feel like heading into the draft and the run home, teams are going to know where they're fit in the pecking order and all these things, right? Let's look at this stacked East, ladies and gentlemen, as P Nice brings up, right? They're going to beat each other up, right? Over 500 will be a playoff team. Facts. Look at that, fam. See, the Bulls, 44 wins, right? 6 games over 500 for the Bulls. Lonzo Ball already injured, right? I've been saying it for a hot minute, right? People did disagree with me in the last time I mentioned it, but I think out of some of these rankings, the Chicago Bulls are being unnecessarily overrated thing, right? All those guys injury prone. Vucevic getting older. He's no defensive guy, right? You need defense in the league. Yes, Zach LaVine's a star. I like Caruso as well. DeMar DeRozan's another year older. I don't know if he has a better year than last year. Everything went right for DeMar last season, So you're looking at Alonzo Ball that's already injured to start the season. I just don't know, man. We could be thereabouts. With Jalen Brunson up in here. It's me. Appreciate you. Let's get it. Latin says, if the Knicks could move Fournier, I'd hate to say it, but Rose also then opens up the rotation for Cam, IQ, Obi, and McBride. Facts. P. Nice defense will separate the teams, right? We can't play in that half court. People have the issue with Fournier's D. That's the main thing. Pudge forever. What's good? I hope keeping Grimes was worth it. He is coming off that knee injury thing. And let's not, I was thinking about this the other day too. Let's not ignore the fact that the Knicks see Grimes in the facility every day. They're closest to him. Well, we're going off the small sample size minutes that we've seen him in NBA action. These development coaches and Tom Thibodeau, they're seeing him every day in practice. So you would think that these guys have a more educated look at what he could be, right? From a day-to-day perspective, right? They're seeing him in the facility, right? We only seen him in NBA action in very limited minutes. Well, so I trust the scouting perspective that they've seen flashes from Grimes, summer league, with Dice out there coaching, things like that. Fam, yep. P. Nice. Bulls got some team of choke artists, right? And like I said, do you guys think DeMar DeRozan has the same or better year than last season? I mean, that'd be something else at 34 years old or whatever he is. Also, and I think the Raptors are grossly overrated too, right? What have the Raptors done to warrant being in fifth? 47 wins. I mean, come on. Well, the Knicks, I do believe the ESPN ranking is fair. They got us in the play-in. I do think that's fair. Kaiser says, y'all sleeping on the Sixers. Harden is in shape this season with Maxey improving. PJ Tucker as well. It's going to be health is critical, fam. Pudge got Bucks, Celts, Nets, Sixers, Cavs at 5th, Heat 6th, Hawks 7th, and then the Knicks right there as well. And look, even ESPN agrees. Knicks are better than the Hornets and the Wizards right now, right? Hornets got Miles Bridges out of action right now, a disgruntled LaMelo. So let's see with that, fam. Chemistry is huge. Latin hits, I heard Suns looking for that power forward that plays inside. Randall, not that guy. Raptors ain't on nothing. I completely agree with that situation. P. Nice. Well, they got Scotty Barnes. They got a bright future with him. But to be put above the Hawks, the Cavs, the Bulls, Nets, us, it is what it is. It's early season projections. I think they'll adjust this as well, fam. Obviously, this is early August. This is an early August power rankings. If they haven't brought one out already, they will soon. Now that the Nets locked up KD, Kyrie, now that the Cavs got Mitch, now that the Hawks got DeJounte. I think this might have been after DeJounte, but I think it's pretty fair for the Knicks. Top 10, vying for that top 10 play-in. That situation. Randall got no post moves with that situation. If we do want to sell Randall at deadline, it is critical that we put him in the right situations, he looks good. Well, if he's disgruntled or things don't go smoothly, man, is it going to be even tougher to trade him? Well, so that is the gamble. Well, that's why I asked you guys this show, do you move on from Randall ASAP, even if you're selling low on that? Or do you gamble and wait till in season, see how he looks, see what's playing out with other teams, then make that, then try to make something happen? That, yeah, I completely agree with Real King, fam. I said the Pistons and the Magic, look out. Well, I don't think it's crazy or whack to think that the Pistons could be better than the Hornets or Wizards up in here. You're talking about Cade, Ivy, Jalen Duren, Sadiq Bey up in there. Well, they got talent, man, and so do Orlando with Suggs, Cole Anthony, and everybody else they got out there as well. Franz Wagner. Knicks 26 champs, salute. What's good? The difference between a 33-win team and a 43-win team is the ability to convert in the fourth. Yep, facts, right? Yep, just 10 wins. And like I hit with everybody again, in case you forget, the Knicks won 37 games last season with a Kemba Walker on one leg. Evan Fournier is a starting two. Mitchell Robinson wasn't even healthy. Nerlens Noel wasn't healthy. Julius Randle was a shell of himself. We won one game in February, and we still won 37 games up in here, right? You add improvement from within with young players, minutes. You add Jalen Brunson. You add backup center in this position. Well, better chemistry, hopefully. Again, I think 40 wins at the lowest, I think, with this situation, right? I'm not sleeping on the Brunson acquisition. I think that's huge. And how could I forget Derrick Rose, man? We didn't even have Derrick Rose. You know, we couldn't even finish games against OKC with Josh Giddey and Cleveland, Brooklyn as well. Yep. We kept blowing it out here, right? Yeah, absolutely. Orlando underrated. Fred VanVleet is small. Yet Raptors got Gary Trent. Yep. Absolutely on point. Don't understand, and I don't trust anything ESPN says when it comes to the Knicks, except Han Solo. ESPN tries to fool Knicks fans with this thing. Where you got us fallen in the standings, Tarek, right now? Or do you need to see us start the season first and see where we at? We have Randall, Evan, Rose. We're trying to win now, which is not a great move. They have to go so the young tank core can tank it up. You see it, play some minutes, get in that groove as well. I think those guys play hard together. Look how fun they look like they were having, with the end of the season, man, when we were beating Toronto. We're beating Miami with RJ, Quickly, Obi, Mitch, as well, Grimes. Well, that was fun towards the end of the season. Yeah, I know it was the end of the season as well, so you can't read a lot into it. But yeah, those guys look like they were having mad fun. Yep. I think the Celtics, they lost Gallo. That's tough. Luke, prayers up to Gallo. And I think that's going to hit them, definitely. So he brings that stretch 4 veteran guy as well. But they've still got a nice unit, definitely. Siakam, Achiuwa, Barnes, Boucher. Raptors got a lot of length and talent. Precious Achiuwa. I don't think Siakam's what he used to be. That's one issue. And I think their guard play as well, with Gary Trent, Fred VanVleet, I think it ain't that great either, I think, with that situation. But yeah, the Raptors are certainly still going to be decent. I'm not saying they won't be. I just think, 47 wins, 5th seed. It's going to be crazy. I personally don't have the Raptors ahead of the Hawks. With Trey and DeJounte, I think they're going to be better as well with that situation. Yeah, and we still 39 wins with this thing. East team do have a lot of don't have great benches, Pudge says. Knicks will be better than most people think, at least from a wins-losses perspective. Yep. You got to play the games. You got to play to see what it is, I think. Yep. All it takes is improvement from within is the big thing. I'm looking at RJ, looking at Mitch, and then you add the improvements of Jalen Brunson, then you're really, really, really talking out here, fam. You're really, really buzzing. Yeah, the way the young core runs is just beautiful to watch. Yes, they make mistakes, but man, there's hustle. Off-ball movement is nice, and chemistry too, fam. Look how fun they look, and they, how much fun they look like they're having with that situation. Yep. Fans count April numbers, right? Spicy P did fall off, Pudge. Absolutely agree with that, fam. Well, he's no different from Julius Randle to me. He's a nice piece, but yeah, he's no difference maker, I think. Like a locked-in, scoring, effective Julius Randle has the same kind of impact, I think, as a Spicy P. Yep. Latin agrees. Yeah, don't see the Raptors making that much noise. They'll be battling for us. But yeah, obviously they got us in the worst spot in the Atlantic with the Nets, Philly, Boston, and then you got the Raptors as well. So yeah, the Knicks might finish last in the Atlantic with this thing. Yeah, Knicks 26 says, if you're looking at the top 8 teams, we could easily beat 5 or 6 of those twice in a season. The only teams I think that are going to give us issues is the Sixers, Nets, Heat, Bucks. Yeah, then it definitely falls off, fam. Look for those Atlanta battles to be crazy, man, as well. Crazy with the Cavs now as well, man. As I said yesterday, I hope that they switch up the Knicks at Utah on November 15, the national game, right? I hope they make a national game that's Cavs at Knicks with Donovan Mitchell coming to MSG, man. TNT gonna lick that up, like ESPN as well. That's gonna be crazy as well. Those Heat battles gonna be nice with RJ versus Jimmy. Well, Bam Adebayo versus Mitch. That situation. Okay, yeah, Siakam did have a better year last year, definitely. It was the year before he was trash. Well, but yeah, a locked-in Siakam is pretty damn nice. Well, but he looked super promising. He's fallen back to earth a little from my point of view. But yeah, Scotty Barnes could be that franchise guy in 1 or 2 years, I think, if he not already. Yep. Raptors ain't do-ish in terms of Fred Van Vliet spurned us. Remember that, man? We couldn't even get no meeting with Fred Van Vliet, but we ended up getting JB. So things worked out for us. I'm cool with JB out here as well. Pre-season, ladies and gentlemen, in like 1 month time, exactly from today, 1 month time, we face Detroit at the Garden as well. That's going to be popping out there against Ivy. Eddie going to disagree. Siakam is far better than Randle in every aspect. Handle, decision-making, shooting. Raps had no PG last year either and got by with Siakam and Barnes for that situation. Yeah, I appreciate that. And yeah, Siakam, when locked in, is a good player as well. I just think impact on the team, the all-star level Julius we got would have been a dynamite on any team as well. The way he was doing things out there, if the shooting's decent with Randle, well, he's just a bully with that situation. But defensively, Siakam is much better. There's no disputing that. The two-way game of Siakam. Yet Fred, undersized, stocky, well, he's getting older out there as well. Maybe he forces his way out in 1 or 2 years as well if he gets impatient up in that thing, Yeah, it's going to be a fascinating season as well. But yeah, with this team, I'm good with how it is, man. Push for the play-in, continue to build. That's all I could say from where we need to go, right? That's all we got to do. And with this young core, that is our identity right now with this thing, right? Our identity ain't Fournier, Rose, or Randall. It's these players on the screen. Now, how many of these guys become good will dictate how soon the Knicks get good. Basically, that's the question and the biggest thing to watch this season with this thing, right? RJ at the top, IQ, Obi, Mitch, Cam, Grimes, Stu, Sims, Isaiah, and then you got some dudes on the fringe, situational dudes as well with this thing. Yep. OG Anunoby, look for that 3 spot this season. It's telling. I like Cam at the 3. I don't think Grimes is tall enough to be at the 3. I don't think RJ's natural position is the 3. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting, man. Go get me a lockdown 3. Call OG with that situation. We got to wait a bit. Maybe Zach LaVine, like I said. Brandon Ingram is my dream at the 3 situation, and maybe Cam. Let's see what happens. The thing is with Tom Thibodeau, right? We know what it is with Cam. We know what it is, unfortunately, with Cam. And with Tom Thibodeau, his days could be numbered, basically. I want Leon Rose to go with his vision. Now, if he brought Cam in with special plans in mind to play, see what he is, we got to do it. Yeah, we got to do it. Rod says, what was our projection the year we made the playoffs? Yeah, great question, fam. The year we made the playoffs, I think our projection was like probably play in as well. Yeah, I don't think it was playoffs. I think it was play in because we had Elf, we had Reggie, all of that stuff, right? Yet they're saying Cam might be out. Well, we got to see it. We got to see it first play out, fam. Let's see how bad the Lakers want him, right? The only way I'm moving Cam is if it makes a sense, we could get something nice for him. Otherwise, it's worth just taking that flyer this season, right? We need to take that flyer. Sometimes when you're an organization trying to make that next step, right, you take these gambles. You take those gambles. Like Canal says, hope we keep him as well. Yep. You bet on that talent, right? He's different. He's got that 6'8" size, can put it on the deck as well. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But at least we try, And then you could keep him to the deadline as well. That'd keep the deadline popping when you go into the deadline with assets like Cam, D Rose, Fournier, Randall, and then you make your decision, right? You see where the season's going. You see if we're 500 or above. You make moves to go in, or then you play the draft situation and play all the kids. I think with that thing. But yeah, Grimes looked like he Tibbs guy, like Pudge says, man. I think he has the favor over the Cam situation. And look what we see with the negotiations with the Spider thing. They are super high on Grimes up in here, man. Or was it Mark Berman reports that Grimes was kept out of every single offer with this thing. So yeah, it was Grimes over everybody, basically. They didn't want to deal Grimes in no situation. Yet we need RJ and Randall to be efficient. Facts. Upcoming season, if we want to contend, 40% ain't helping us. Latin says only way we see what we have in Cam is if we control what Tibbs has on his bench. We have to trade Fournier and D Rose. I don't want to see Rose go, but the only way to see Cam get sufficient burn. Yep. You completely agree. Well, and there's always injuries too, fam. And we're super light at the wing. Anyway, that alone should be enough to keep him. What happens if RJ or Grimes miss time? then who's going to be a defensive wing? Who's going to be a dude at the 3 that the Knicks can play? Well, we're one injury away at the 3 from being stuck. Do they play Obi at the 3 more? You know, I wouldn't mind seeing that for a minute. Wouldn't mind seeing that. Yep. Appreciate you. Salute. Let's get it. We surveyed. Hope you're well. The Knicks says JB, Grimes, RJ, Obi, Mitch is our best starting unit. Our bench is D Rose, IQ, Cam, Isaiah, and Sims. Yep. I like that unit as well. Sims Hartenstein's pretty big. I think the Knicks' intentions might be to get Carmelo Anthony. Potentially, he might slot in as the bench 4 guy with that situation. Or I'd move Cam to the 4 off the bench with Hartenstein as well and have Fournier. Have Fournier as the 3 with D Rose, IQ with that situation. Knicks 26 says, I'm not sold on the regime turning the keys over to the youth. These young players, Obi, IQ, Cam, are just fillers until either someone becomes disgruntled and the Knicks trade for them. I think that could well be true, fam. I think the best thing is at least they get minutes. We increase their value with that. And if one of them pops, then we good. That should be the strategy. Yep. And Canal hits there. Grimes ain't a small forward as well. It can still play with RJ and Cam. Pudge says Tibbs sticking with the 10-man. I think 9 or 10-man. Danny says, do you see us getting any superstar here in the next 2 years? Question mark. I could see it happening, yeah. I could see it happening, Danny. I don't see, I can't say how likely it is, but I think this front office still star chasing. The CAA thing is out there. Yeah, it helped them get Brunson. The picks, the young players, 2 of them pop. It makes the deal a lot easier with the assets, I think. I think this year we just couldn't get it done because the young players are too unproven. I think, yep. Cam, RJ, Grimes can get all the minutes at the small forward and shooting guard. Just trade Evan, says Canal. Yep, I completely agree with that thing, yep. LaMelo Ball, that's interesting to watch, fam, from that perspective, man. We know his dad wants him in the Big Apple with that situation, yep. LaMelo is going to be the talk next year, yeah, facts. Canal, let's see what happens out in Charlotte with that thing, right? That's definitely something to watch. Well, yeah, his dad's been on record to say he wants him in a big market as well. Lonzo in Chicago, he wants all the boys in a big market with that thing. We need to understand where we're at, kill those delusions, forget about the destination, enjoy the ride, let the young men rumble. That's the right mindset for reasonable, intelligent fans. You sing it. Like I said, yeah, time reveals all. Just play who we got, play the course, then options will open up along the way, right? The Spider thing 1 year ago, people didn't think it was quite likely or how likely it was that the Utah would finally blow it up. And they blew it up. 12 months from now, we'll be talking about some other team, other star that's blowing things up. Exactly like Bill Simmons said. He knows. He's been around this league every year, right? Dudes become available as well. LaMelo Ball, SGA. Devin Booker maybe in 2 years with Cat as well. So, yeah, we need to understand where we're at. And let's just play who we got. This season, we're going to know a heck of a lot more between all these dudes on screen. I don't think at the end of this season, they'll be sitting on the fence with any of these guys, right? Whatever RJ Barrett does this season, he's going to rightfully deserve praise or some criticism. Obi, IQ, Mitch, Cam, all these guys, right? I don't think at the end of this season, we're going to sit on the fence with any of these guys. We're going to know. We're going to know where each dude's at, I think. and where they're at with New York and their future with this club, with this situation, right? So yeah, in terms of who's most likely to become that dude, I really circle back to RJ, Obi, and Mitch with those situations. Mitch has already proven what he can do in the league. Well, he could be a top 5 center in this league. Obi proven what he can do, in my opinion. He's shown me flashes that he could be a solid starting big man. And RJ Barrett, of course, is the most likely young dude to become a star, an all-star with this thing. And we wait to see from there, right? Yep. Yeah, with the Melo situation, man, I don't know if he's happy with the Miles Bridges thing as well, man. They regressed. And yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting with this thing. The early talking points are Randall, Brunson, Leon, Tibbs, RJ, what his season looks like, the rest of the young core, and the centers out here with this situation. Early expectations, I got the Knicks from 10 to 7 spot with 40 to 45 wins, I think, off the bat. Thing, pre-season only a month away. It's going to be absolutely lit out here as well. Don't sleep on Brunson's impact. Look, he's going to be a key catalyst to get us where we need to go. And yeah, not mad at not getting Spider. It's time to look ahead and look for the next thing out here, and a lot of national media shares that same sentiment, right? That the Knicks were giving up too much in this kind of deal. Ainge didn't really want to deal with the New York Knicks as well. So all eyes turn to Tom Thibodeau and Leon Rose. Now, what can they do to polish up this roster before opening night? Remains the big talking point. Let's see what happens out here to start the season. And of course, how they handle this season with the rotation, with the trades, all of those things, right? This could be the last year of the Leon, Tom Thibodeau regime with this situation, right? Because with the talk of this move and they're missing out, there is pressure on them, not just because of that, but because they're heading into their 3rd year together as well. The third year, is pivotal. It proves a lot for this situation around the league as well. So yeah, the show goes on, ladies and gentlemen, and we get ready to wrap this baby up. Appreciate you all. Non-stop, got the buzz, got the streets buzzing. Well, with this thing, the best chat in the biz. Yep. And let's get it, man. Look forward to this ride this season, man. You guys are going to be on fire all season. I just know it. And it's going to be crazy out here, talking post games, chopping things up with guests. You already know what it is, right? The city that never sleeps out here. And peace to all. Many blessings. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. And let's get it on the next one. Peace.
You can't be serious. I mean, really though? You mean to tell me that them photons went out like that? Hey, yo, Nims, let me hold this for a minute.
Bong bing, close the train doors. The broom swept, can't believe they got old Ford. Kyrie, you a problem child. Well, Ho said, shit, let me move my bowels. Bong bing, this must be a dream. I thought I saw Spike with the other team. Bong bing, what we talking about? No matter who's on your team, you in the Knicks house. That playing game don't mean you won inside the playoffs. Don't even talk to the media, take that jersey off. The 4 games I'm tuned in, you had the city watching. Don't even watch Philly play, just watch James Harden. That swing pick, never mind, I let my man take him. And now Katie having nightmares of Jason Tatum. That famous line by Loaded Lux that you gon' get this work. Don't talk to me about Ben, he said his back hurt. Like Kyrie, like Steve Nash, you can take the blame. Come next year, I'm going back to playing half them games. The truth be told, we don't care about your Barclays. When it comes to the city, this here's RJ's. My young Gems right now, yeah, they on some shit. From Obi Toppin, I man your ass real quick. A line flip, no, I feel bad for Blake Griff. That's the loss you gotta take to win a championship. Now you back like the New Jersey Nets. What you thought your Final Four was cutting down the nets? Bong bing, close the train doors. The broom swept, can't believe they got old Ford. Kyrie, you a problem child. Well, Ho bounce, bumping. This must be a dream. I thought I saw Spike with the other team. Bumping. What we talking about? No matter who's on your team, you in the Knicks house.
When it comes to the city, it's on.